I wanted to start the conversation. When you talk about cyber security, you talk about mostly privacy and protection. And I wanted to just stir the minds, stir those brilliant minds in there to also think about not just privacy and protection, but law enforcement, and to question how much protection and privacy is too much protection and privacy. Because from a law enforcement standpoint, from a legal standpoint, we enjoy the fact that people will have protection and privacy, but we also want to prevent and deal with criminal activity. So can we find a balance whereby people are entitled to their privacy and their protection and they have it, but there's also access by law enforcement to ensure that those people who do not have good intentions can easily be dealt with? Because we have a situation now in the world where indeed many crimes are perpetrated by the internet, by phone usages, and by all of that. So what we want to know is, can there be a balance? Can we have a balance whereby criminals know that the cyber world is not a safe world for them to operate? In terms of instances, we always talk about we need to prevent cyberbullying, we need to prevent human trafficking, but how can we prevent it? How can we deal with it if we don't have access? How can I know as an individual what criminal activity is taking place in the cyber world if I don't have access to that cyber world? We have an instance, as I mentioned in the speech, that there's an 11-year-old girl, she was on Facebook, she was naked, and she seemed to be enjoying it. She seemed to be putting on a show for the public, and it was extremely offensive, and people found it offensive. And yes, after a while they said, well, and my question to law enforcement, to the police, to everybody was, can we get a hold of that IP address or whatever they call it? We want to find that home, we want to find that child, we want to know what's going on. And they're telling me that with all that privacy issue and all that internet protection issue, it's difficult to say which computer it came from, who was in charge of it, which home they're at. But then again, a few months later now, or a few weeks later, I saw a picture yesterday where that same young girl is now pregnant. She's on the internet boasting about her belly and how she's pregnant. And I'm saying we also need to find a way to prevent this type of taking advantage of our children. How can we do that if all we are focused on is on privacy and protection? Law enforcement needs to have access to prevent criminal activity. And those are the things that make me want to develop legislation. You ask me what is our role. We are responsible for crafting the legislation to make sure that people who are not engaged in criminal activity will have the privacy and the protection that they want. But if you engage in criminal activity, you cannot expect to be protected by privacy. So that is the message I wanted to send. I think we have gotten to the point where we have to have this discussion. We have to have this convention and this symposium. And with the brilliant minds that I see in there, I am sure, I'm confident that we can come up with something that will work.